After the moves, we get into the baggage. Again, this is the first big mechanic of the game, or the first unique mechanic of the game. And as we said before, it is the primary punishment that you suffer for failing rolls in Perfect Draw. It describes a situation that causes doubt or conflict within your character and the relationships that they maintain with their allies. A big thing that they talk about with gaining baggage is maybe an NPC reveals a lie that you kept hidden. Maybe you had a crush on someone. Maybe you had slighted another player in the past and they didn't know about it. That's enough to give you baggage. Being wounded, that's enough to give you baggage. If you
baggage can be pretty much anything.
It can be pretty much anything. And if you suffer two experiences of baggage that relate to each other or overlap, so if you get beat up and then, over the course of a duel, if you're playing a shadow game where your injuries become real, that can stack on your standard baggage and give you what's called serious baggage. The difference between this, and this was not clear to me, I had to look this up, is that standard baggage, outside of it being, just the thing that you have, gives you a -1 to any roll after modifiers, which is to say, if you have a +2 in a friendship stat and you need to roll a move with friendship, if you have one baggage that pertains to that, you roll at 2d6 +2 -1. However,
No, you would roll at 2d6. You would roll 2d6 +1 because you have a 2 in the stat. Your baggage subtracts 1. You'd roll 2d6 +1. If you had serious baggage, then it would automatically become a -1.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. +2 -1. It still comes out to a +1.
Yes,
but the way
it comes out to a +1.
Yes, but the way it's worded.
You said it comes out to a -1.
I said +2 -1.
Okay, well that's a weird way to phrase that.
It's what made the most sense for me. I don't like the way the game worded it. And again, like I said, I had to look this up.
Well, the way you would describe it is if you have a +2 in a stat and you subtract 1, your overall modifier becomes a +1 as opposed to +2.
Yes. If you have serious baggage, it automatically sets your modifier to -1.
Yes, it sets it to -1 regardless of where the stat is at.
Yes.
Which can be anywhere from 1 to 3.
Yeah. And personally, for me, I think it was worded weirdly. I had to look it up, but that is how it works.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I knew what they meant.
I didn't. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's just I don't know. The way it's worded in the passage is when you make a roll for a general move, for each piece of baggage your character has that's relevant to the action, you take a -1 to the roll. This cannot reduce the modifier of the roll below -1. For instance, if your character normally has a +1 to friendship and rolls plus friendship with one piece of relevant baggage, they instead roll with a +0. They had 3 pieces of relevant baggage, they would roll with a -1 instead of a -2. So I think that part right there is what confused me, is the fact that it cannot go below -1.
Well, yeah, it can't it can't go below -1. Is just they're just locking the floor of negative because the numbers are small. The numbers you're operating with are smaller. Apocalypse World doesn't go below a -2, so that's all that is.
And worth noting, you can go above +2. You can get a maximum, I believe, of +3. Or no, I think you can get to a +4.
If you have, I don't know if there's a limit on bonuses, but I think your stats will go to a max of +3. I think the bonuses could technically go stack forever. You're not going to stack them forever because there's just not enough ways to do it, but I think they technically could.
Maybe. I have to double check. That's a little bit later on in the book when they talk about advancement. Now, like we said before, you might not believe it, but it is true. Baggage is not just a net detriment. It actually is a bonus to you in more ways than just gaining experience. The more baggage you have during a duel, the more advantage you gain during that duel, which is a special resource / ammo type that we'll explain further on. Advantage can get pretty crazy. So if you have a bunch of baggage in a duel, it's not necessarily a bad thing because the baggage does not equate to every single roll you have rolls with baggage.
The baggage does not what they're doing here in terms of invoking the genre, right, is that the baggage affects you emotionally when you're doing everyday, anything else in your life, right? When you're doing whatever. The baggage is a boon when you're activating this, when you're going into the super dramatic card battles, because the drama of the card battle is fueled by the drama of the baggage. So when you have baggage in a card game, you're actually stronger and better than if you don't.
Yes. Baggage
it's invoking that feeling of the like that melodramatic nonsense of like the character is sulking because their sister is in the hospital with a terminal illness, but then when they play the card game, their sister being in the hospital with a terminal illness is what fuels their rage and gives them the strength to continue on and win the card game. Right? It's that whole vibe.
Yeah.
It's good. It's hitting the genre trope perfectly.
It is, yeah. Generally speaking, you don't interact with baggage directly in card game combat unless you're using general moves or some reason if one of the card game combat moves you're using would proc it. But I don't think that'll happen very often.
No, basically,
I don't believe it.
It gives you points. It gives you points of advantage to spend on doing better shit.
Yeah,
and pulling, doing things like conveniently pulling the card that you needed. It's like, I'm such sad boy hours. I just want my sister to get out of the hospital. The fusion card I was looking for.
The game actually does have like a fuckery chapter where it talks about if you wanted to add mechanics from other card games, and fusion was one of them. And I was like, oh hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
like Black Skull Dragon.
One of the really good like the move that Isaiah mentioned, the draw the perfect card. The way you draw the perfect card is you spend advantage, and the way you get advantage is having baggage during the duel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, this game is very specifically not emulating actual TCGs. It's emulating anime nonsense TCGs.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I was talking to Sam. And he literally was like, I can't believe this game is going to fix TCGs for me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, look,